Thor: Love and Thunder was the biggest piece of hot garbage I've ever seen.
Pizza time. Pizza time. Pizza time.
You like pizza time?
Pizza time.
Ed, good evening. We're doing this at night.
I know, it's kind of weird. Good evening,
It is
sir.
weird. Yes, good evening.
It's our first time at night.
Yeah, Saturday night. Partying. Woo.
Yeah, birthdays. What can you say? You can't dodge them half the time.
Can't dodge them, can you? No, you cannot.
No.
How are you? Do you know?
I'm okay, man. I'm full of shit. I might fall asleep. I had a foodie day today, man.
Ed has foodie days a lot. I don't. I eat.
Yeah, that's one area of like nerdom or vice that we do not share. Yeah.
We differ. That's one of the only areas we differ. Yeah.
That and like sports.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you love food. I love cars. I don't.
Yes, our cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cars.
Yes.
So
yeah.
like,
No.
Yeah. So, but that's okay. But anyway, good evening, good morning, good whatever, wherever, whenever, and however you listen to this. I don't know.
Go Truman Show on us. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you guys want to do. But welcome back into the Pizza Time Nerdcast. We got a jam-packed show. We are gonna do our Phase 4 tier ranking. We did a little bit of this earlier this year. We did our Phase 4 TV show ranking. But this time we're gonna go full in, do the full Phase 4 ranking because Phase 4 is officially wrapped with Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And we had time to digest it and digest everything that we saw. And we're ready for Phase 5. I cannot stress how ready we are for Phase 5. It's time to move on past this. But this is going to be a bumpy episode, Ed, I think.
It might, maybe a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah. Some disagreements I foresee coming because I have some thoughts.
In terms of placement, right? In terms of placement. I think our overall feelings are like going to still, be more or less the same. But
overall low. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about a little bit of news, really the biggest news that came out this week, besides the fact that Ed saw Avatar. But hey, go watch that on TikTok. Go watch that on TikTok. First review is up there now.
Full review next week.
Full review next week. Yes. Wait, what a tease, Ed. Good job. Anyway, we're going to talk about the biggest piece of news that dropped was it turns out DCU might be heading towards a full-on reboot. We got news earlier this week that Wonder Woman 3 has gotten the official axe. Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot's sequel is not going forward. There is a very funny story circling around where she apparently sent WB exec a definition of story arc, and then a few days later, character arc, and a few days later, this movie was canceled. So that's probably not voting pretty well. Hey, maybe you're too big for your britches. I don't know. But on top of that, Variety and Deadline and Hollywood Reporter, they're all reporting that it actually might be the full DCU that's going to get a full stop and reset after Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom next year, which comes out next December, and that's it. So Ed, I'm gonna toss it to you first because I have thoughts, but I'm gonna toss it to you first. Be the gentleman. Do you think there should be a full reboot or not a full reboot? What are your thoughts? I mean, full reboot would include Henry Cavill's out as Superman.
Okay, so, first of all, I'm confused as shit.
Yes.
That's what that's the first thing I feel is I'm confused.
Absolutely.
Right?
I would, yeah.
Because, you have Black Adam come out. It doesn't do well, but, you have Henry Cavill. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it. Henry Cavill shows back up as Superman. And you think, okay, great. So there's some semblances of the old sticking around. And now they're canceling Wonder Woman 3. And it's like, so all these things all add up to the questions like what does this mean? Like what does moving forward really look like? And what does a full restart look like? Are you saying that you're going to completely, replace everybody in their roles? Like I don't know. And that's the thing is like you mentioned the upcoming movies that are still going, and that's Flash and Aquaman 2,
Shazam 2.
Shazam 2. So
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, new IP, but still. The great poster though. The poster looked pretty dope. It kind of reminded me like Beetleborgs which I thought I
Beetleborg.
yeah, it reminded me like Beetleborgs, man.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah, not
Beetleborgs.
bad, right?
Yes.
But
Okay.
again, so what? Oh, so what? What does that mean, right? Like, how do
Right.
you reset when you have these big movies coming out? What does that mean? So
Mhm.
as of right now, it can mean anything at this point,
Right.
right? It could mean anything, and so
Yeah.
it would be nice to get some clarity at this point as to what exactly are the plans for from the new leaders of James Gunn,
Yeah.
and sorry, what's the other guy's name?
Peter Safran.
Saffron. So yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
I get we've been asking for a reboot like for
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but then, we had some nice little, Black Adam wasn't bad. I liked a lot of the pieces there,
Same.
but
Yeah.
it didn't do well. So it's
No.
like the ether of the DCEU continues. Like it just
Right.
we don't know where we are again. So, but whatever. What do you expect? What do you think? How did you respond?
Um. Yeah. I would typically. You know, I'm conflicted
Okay.
because we got news that the good thing that I like about the DCEU is that Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. Now, I've been on record. I'm not a huge fan of Man of Steel. I don't like the way the character was portrayed, but I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. But at the same time, there's a piece of in the back of my head just going, you can't pussyfoot this. You can't play footsie with this. You either have to be, you either have to be full reboot, everybody
Yeah.
gone and restart, or you're in this like weird kind of, oh, it's a rebooted world. It'll be a different Batman. It'll be a different I don't know, Flash. It'll be a different hero here, a different Wonder Woman. I think Gal Gadot is done, obviously.
Uh,
If Patty Jenkins is gone, I'm assuming she's gone.
I will.
Not
You're right. I think them being together is
Yeah.
pea in a pod, and they might. But at the same time, everybody loves Gal Gadot. Gal
Yeah,
Gadot
no.
as Wonder Woman. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't
Again,
know.
I think that where I get a little conflicted is that, again, I think that you either have to be 100% in on it or you're in this weird kind of limbo where, oh, well, she's kind of sticking around and then he's kind of sticking around, but, all these other characters aren't. So to me, I think a full reboot is in the best interest. And I, I am a little sad about that as
Yeah,
like Zachary Levi's he's a knockout as Shazam,
I
man.
love him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that movie.
and yeah, and I'm very excited about Shazam: Fury of the Gods 2023. That's
Me
going to be a
too.
great movie. And I just think that it's sad because I don't think Aquaman, Jason Momoa is a bad Aquaman. I enjoy his take on the character.
I like their take on Aquaman as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
interesting.
he's gone. And look, again, I think the only correct way to do it is a full on reboot, which does mean Henry Cavill's gone. You
All
find
of it.
another actor. You
Just
have to
all
go
of it.
all of them. Even The Rock. Even The Rock. Just
Oh,
gone. I think that's the only way you can do it. Um, Again, I don't think you can pussyfoot around with it. I think you have to go all in. And I think, since this news has started to come out, James Gunn released a statement like saying, hey, we're not going to make everybody happy about this stuff. But, I think that him and Peter Safran like produced, he produced Blue Beetle and he's a producer, the main producer on Shazam Fury of the Gods. And I think they had meetings and said, I don't think we can make it work with the characters. I think we're gonna have to start from scratch with this stuff.
really?
Yeah, and
You don't even think with the whole idea of Flashpoint coming to, the whole idea of maybe there's a whole nother timeline, and they can just choose another timeline, maybe like there's just a bit of a soft restart rather than just a whole
if
restart.
if you do that, I think that you have to figure out a way to either delay Flash again, which we all know, look, Flash is going to be a nightmare to market anyway. So maybe give it some more time to sit, move Aquaman up, move Blue Beetle up, and then you can pick and choose how it's reset. You can, Blue Beetle did well. We're keeping Jaime Reyes in the DCU. But again, like this is already, they're already off to a mess. It's already the most DC thing in the world, right, dude? Because you got
I agree.
Robert Pattinson's Batman's not part of this
Yeah,
DCU.
no,
The
Joker's not.
Joker, Todd Phillips just released the first image of the Joker 2 today.
Mhm.
He's not part of this, but he's also not part of Pattinson's Batman world. So you're already in this like, oh well, is what's part of it, what's not part of it, and yeah, I think
But okay,
it
so
pains
what
me.
does it all mean though? Like if they still release the Flash and Aquaman 2, what do
It
those
just
mean if they're just gonna reboot it? What do those mean? They're just
they mean
nothing? They're just
nothing. They mean, hey, maybe
and
we
they're just
make a
still
billion
release it.
bucks, maybe we don't.
Would you think that people would still watch those movies if they just announced tomorrow that all of it is just gonna go nowhere anyways?
I think they won't
Don't
announce
you
it.
don't you
So
think they would fuck that all the viewings of those movies?
maybe. I mean,
Right?
look,
I mean, if you told me these won't matter, why the hell would I go see them?
well, like overall, like these movies don't matter any. Like Batman doesn't matter. We know that Batman doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We
But
know Joker doesn't
what if
matter.
they're good? What
But
if
like
they're
it,
actually good?
okay, but like let's Joker, we knew wasn't connected to anything.
Yeah, they made
And
that
people
clear.
went out in droves to see it
Absolutely.
because it was a great, like a greatly directed movie. Same reason here. You market the movie right, people are gonna go see it. You like Noah's Ark. You build it, they'll come, right? Or the Field of Dreams. Noah's
So you're
Ark.
saying that they just have to make it clear and just be like, "Look, we Aquaman 2, I mean,
That's it.
hopefully it's a great movie, but it's not gonna
I think
it's
that
not."
would I don't know. I do think that
It's a
actually
weird
might help
pickle.
it though. Like, hey, Aquaman 2, this is it for Jason Momoa, by the way. This is his last rodeo as Aquaman.
It's weird. I don't know
It
what else to
is
say, but the fact that it's
weird.
weird. Nothing
Dude,
feels right.
it's
Nothing feels
very,
right.
very strange. It's
It's
very like
strange. It's like wearing a wet shoe. It just I
uh
don't wanna be barefoot, but this shoe's wet too,
yeah.
so that sucks.
I know there's a lot of Snyder fans out there, but I think the Snyderverse is been an unmitigated disaster.
It's been a mess,
Not
100%.
not at the fault of Zack Snyder. I don't think like
No.
obviously he did casting. I think he was involved in the casting of Momoa. He was involved in the casting of obviously Cavill and stuff. So like, it's not his fault, but like it just didn't work. And in order to reset it, I think you just have to forget it, man. And I
That's a
know
great
that's crazy,
Did you
but
mean that joke? Set it and forget it?
I did not. I didn't even
That's pretty
realize
good.
I'm 2 beers in. I didn't even realize I said that.
That's great. I
Yeah.
don't know,
So
man. I mean, I feel you. I feel like there's rights and wrongs on both ends, but I guess you're right though. The best thing they could probably do is just say fuck it all and just throw it out the
yeah,
window and just start from scratch. That
yeah.
that might have to be the way. It sounds like a lot of work, but
Oh.
better than nothing, I guess.
I guess, look, MCU struggled this year. We'll talk about this next week, but there are unconfirmed talks that they are going to really slow down on their output and refocus again after their bad year. Which, hey, duh. But you're already super behind Marvel. You're not going to catch them, and James
No.
Gunn knows that, right? So like,
Yeah, but I think they've stopped too. I think they've stopped caring about that. They just know they know that good movie. As long as the movie's good, then people will come and
people come.
So
Yeah.
just quality at this point.
Yeah, they
is
just
all
need
they care
to.
about.
They do need to work better on connecting everything.
Absolutely,
Like obviously, phase
obviously.
1 through 3, Marvel was great at that, right? It kind of all meshed so well.
It would be,
Mm,
but at the same time, it would be really nice if they do like have an end to
mhm.
this. I think it would actually be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do it. It'd be cool that in the Flash a movie that it kind of ends. It kind of become is the end of this, failed
Yeah,
universe,
hell
but
yeah, that'd
bring
be dope.
everybody back for one last thing, and then, but it like blows up their universe or whatever. I don't know the physics of universes, but
Well,
it ends that, and then maybe just it's understood there's a new one that's
it's
coming
a
or
new
something.
like yeah, it's a new like end it. So you don't watch the animated movies, but there was Justice League Apocalypse War, I believe is what it was called.
Yeah, no.
It was a cartoon released on video. It was great. And essentially what happens is it's the end of it. Darkseid wins, Batman's ruined, Superman's ruined. They're
Oh
all
shit.
effed up. So the only way to like fix it, and they beat Darkseid in the end. The only way to fix it is for Barry to run back in time and reset everything.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
it ends with Barry sprinting away and then a flash of white. I would be totally fine with that.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think that, that would be kind of nice. Again, would they do it in this movie? I don't know. I mean,
Again,
probably not.
you'd
But
have to push it, man. You'd have to push it behind Aquaman 2, which I don't
I,
think they want to hold it.
I want to ask you, do you think Aquaman 2 could be on the chopping block now
I
because of
do.
this?
Yeah, I do.
Like they don't even release it.
Well, you know what? Let me back that statement back up a little bit.
Is it
I think they've
possible?
spent a lot of money, and
How much
Warner Bros.
is
Does not have a lot of movies coming out, and they need the Flash to do good. They need the Shazam movie to do good. They need these movies to do good because they have so much debt. The merger with Discovery, like they have so much debt that I think they need these movies to do well.
But
Same with
again,
Marvel.
if it doesn't serve them in their new vision,
I mean,
does it?
I
Could
don't
it?
even I don't know if I think it's a conversation, but it's like, does James Gunn and Safran have enough of that pull to say we got to pull this movie? Because Momoa is the first Aquaman made $900 million.
Oh man, it's huge. Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a draw. I'll go watch it.
It's such a dude. It's such a pickle, man. I don't know
It
what to
is.
say.
It's a tough
It's
place
such
to
a
be.
weird. It's a weird
Yeah.
place to be
But
for.
the thing is, if you rebooted it, you'd have to reboot Peacemaker, which is confirmed to get a second season. And like Johnson, you'd have to do it again. You can't half-ass it. You gotta go all in or not.
And look in Black. But see, the thing in Black Adam,
Yeah.
Thing shows up. I forget her name, but one of the characters
Waller.
from.
Oh yeah,
No, the
lady, yeah,
the lady.
Hargrave.
Yeah, whatever her name is. She shows up. That's James Gunn's, and so that means he said yes.
Yeah.
Or in character, like so he said like, okay, yeah, you can have like she can
Also his
appear.
wife.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But so, I don't know.
I
I don't know where
man.
we are. I think we're, it's hard to talk about it where it is now. I think James and Safran are gonna have to put out a statement, some official statement, and
Yeah.
then we can start to surmise something.
But
But
like,
as of right now, it's like, yeah, or it's all speculation. What are you gonna say? It could go anyway at this point. I don't know.
last word on this to agree with you and bring it back to what you said earlier. Do you even make that statement before Comic-Con of next year? Because, hey, like, are people going to go see it? Like, if The Flash is is steeped in so much controversy because of your dumbass actor that can't keep himself like off doing stupid shit. Do you even make that announcement? Like this movie's supposedly supposed to be the greatest superhero movie we've ever seen. That's how basically WB is defending keeping it off the chopping block. You can't make that announcement in January and say, "Oh, here's our new slate. It's a brand new universe."
Okay, it goes
Enjoy.
back. I agree. That's the thing. It goes back to the fact of like if they're gonna release the Flash and Aquaman too, it just do they make that statement before those movies come out? I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems weird.
Does
It
seem
it
weird,
doesn't
man.
seem right to
Yeah.
do that.
I
So
don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
yeah, I
that's
don't know.
that's a quick little bit of news. DC full reboot, not full reboot. Comment down below if you think it should be or should not be. But anyway, that's it for the news this week. There were some other things that came out, but nothing big enough to overtake this massive episode that we have coming up. So
Yeah.
we're gonna jump straight into it.
Let's do it.
Anyway, so Ed, you want to bring up the panel of our
Yes.
MCU tier ranking? So here's what we have so far, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the good old Loki as S and Moon Knight as S tiers, Hawkeye as an A tier, but it's more of a B tier for Ed. Falcon and Winter Soldier in the B tier. WandaVision straddling B and C tier, and What If down in the C tier. Now that's where we stopped. There was a couple more shows that released after this, including the wonderful She-Hulk and the absolutely wonderful Miss Marvel. And then, of course,
Oh,
we don't have
boy.
any movies in this ranking. That was just a TV show ranking. But before we jump into Phase 4 ranking total, Ed, I want to give you the chance to readdress anything. Do you want to move any of those
Okay.
things that you see right there? Let me know, and I will gladly move them.
Yeah, remind me. It was just the shows, right? Was that our
This was just
original?
Disney
It
Plus
was the
shows up
shows
to
at
that
the
point.
time.
Yeah, this
Okay.
was late May, so I think Miss Marvel was only 2 episodes in at this point, so we couldn't actually rank it.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's what we did. Okay. I mean, okay, looking at this, I like to feel like we could clean up that WandaVision one because it's just as you said, it was straddling B and C.
WandaVision and Hawkeye are straddling, yeah, yeah. So what do you wanna do with it?
That's what it was. Okay. See, should we? Should we at least just put them in spots now? Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
I'd drop WandaVision to C.
Oh boy. This is where we're gonna have fights, man. Because it's like, okay, I get that, but I could care so much less about Hawkeye. So
I'm fine to drop Hawkeye too.
to be okay, if we could, I would be comfortable with moving Hawkeye to B if we're gonna move WandaVision down to C.
I can do that. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Okay.
So WandaVision is placed at C.
I cannot move Hawkeye comfortably to A if WandaVision is moving to C.
That's
I can't
fine.
do that.
That's totally fine. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna put these like this.
Okay.
We're just gonna clean up these guys just a little bit right here. And then
And
if you want to move what if? After thinking about it,
where?
I'm down to move it here.
Of course I am.
Okay, I'm down.
I'm, I'm
plenty of
comfortable
thought,
with that.
I'm
Yes.
okay with moving it down to
I'm
there
definitely
because,
comfortable with that. Yes.
yeah, I just think that, after
And
I rewatched the season and there was only one episode that I actually enjoyed very much,
Okay.
and that's it. So
Okay. Hey, I'm glad you had that time of reflection and you're
yeah,
able to
yeah, yeah.
comfortably make that as long
I'm
as you're
glad you're
comfortable.
able to move WandaVision down to C because I know you
Ha-
liked it a lot, but
Yes, I did. But here's an olive branch too, though. I know you brought up Moon Knight earlier about S to A. I think I'm comfortable moving Moon Knight to A if you feel like you want to do that.
C. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
okay with that too.
I'm okay with
All right.
that.
Yeah, I think the only S tier show has been Loki, and it's I think it's been a wide margin. Let's be honest.
I it's hard. I mean, again, we can go into it, but at the same time, it's like there are pros and cons for both shows. I ultimately liked Moon Knight the most because it had a trajectory of good to, or to like, okay, it ended much stronger than it started. While Loki, I didn't love the end, but it was cool. Like,
Yeah,
so and there's like wishy-washy episodes in the middle.
yeah, there's some wishy-washy episodes, that's for sure.
So,
I loved
but I
the
get it.
ending of Loki because it was the first time and really the only time so far in Phase 4 that I think that we got a hint of what's to come.
I would agree with you. I would agree with
For
you.
me,
Yes.
is why I can put it up there.
It's like it was really the first time you're like, oh, this is Phase 4. You're
Oh,
starting to
yeah.
really figure out,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
this is what we're dealing with.
It was like the
Yes.
first hint of where we thought we were going to be able to go, and then everything else just kind of, well, we'll get into it.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And so that's
So-
why I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with that
Okay.
because I can recognize that the first 2 episodes of like Moon Knight weren't like that great, to be honest. They
Yeah.
were a little rough,
A little
but I
rough.
love the rest. So
Who knows
that's
when we
fine.
see it,
I'm good with this.
yeah.
I'm good with
And
this.
we have a Loki season 2. So let's start with
Oh,
the very
God.
first movie of Phase 4.
I'm
Black
nervous.
Widow. I'll take this one because I know what Shang-Chi meant to you, and I will take Black Widow, and then you can tell me where you want to put it. Now,
Okay.
Black Widow, it came out. It was for those of you that don't remember, it was the middle of the pandemic. That's not true. It was 2021.
21.
So it was like I guess still kind of the middle of the pandemic. Let's be honest.
Yeah, more or less.
May. It was May or June
I
of
forget.
2021.
I think this came out in May, right?
Okay, so
Yes,
it
is
was
May.
supposed to be what kicked off Phase 4. And I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't think I've ever been more excited for a movie that I was so excited for this movie because I thought they had done it so well. The trailers looked really good. I was like,
The
oh my god,
trailers
we're
were
gonna
great.
get a Jason Bourne
Yeah.
female-led Black Widow movie. That sounds awesome.
It was
And then the movie came out, and I really didn't like it. And Ed, you can tell if I'm being too harsh, but I'm gonna drop Black Widow here. And
To
it's
D?
only to D, and it's only that high because of the inclusion of Yelena. If Yelena wasn't in this movie, it would be all the way bottom on E tier. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna change this to F. F tier. For fuck.
I'm also comfortable for that. Yes,
Yeah.
considering what I
Okay.
think should go in there, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
You're cool with
I'm
D.
totally comfortable with D for that. Because
Okay.
I couldn't agree with you more. I
Yeah.
that movie was a complete letdown besides Yelena.
Yeah. It just
eh, it's not good.
yeah, you took a director who hadn't directed a movie before, and it just kind of like it just didn't work out. And
No.
you couldn't shake the feeling of like, why do I care? Why do I care? The ending of the movie was the start of Infinity War, and I'm like, well, we already know how this ends. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I'm glad you gave me Yelena, and it's really great, but I don't care.
I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you.
Okay.
I'm 100% behind that being in D and it's staying
And,
there.
and absolutely,
Hopefully.
let's not forget, totally wasted Taskmaster, and I don't know how the movie Thunderbolts will rescue her character, but you got a really big task ahead.
I agree.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. You tell me
Shang-Chi.
where to put it because I know we're gonna disagree a little.
Yeah, I think we are. Okay, look. For me, it's 100% S tier for me. I loved
Oh,
this movie. Okay. That being said, it's definitely, I mean, again, this is phase 4. Okay. This is not like overall. So I would comfortably also put it in A tier for me. I
okay.
totally get it. So I think I will even give it to you now that that I would put it in A tier. That's what I will say. If you're
I can live with Shang-Chi in A tier. I don't
at
know
least
if I
for
can
now.
live for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
We'll revisit after the end of this, but yeah. Okay, keep going.
The only reason I say that too is that like once we do our like you the whole MCU tier list one day, I can definitely see this going down the rungs because of just some of the other incredibly, just the best of the best.
Yeah.
So I even would be honestly, I get it if it was in B, but right now, in terms of Phase 4, I absolutely loved Shang-Chi. When we first saw it, it was one of those things where I said, it made me feel like Iron Man. It gave me the feelings of Iron Man when I first watched it because it was so fun. It wasn't really connected to anything. We could just enjoy, this new flavor that is in the MCU. And
Yeah.
and it gave us the fight scenes, which were better than I thought they were gonna be. And all the characters I thought were pretty good, and they gave us really strong characters. A great villain. I loved Wenwu.
Yeah, Wenwu.
Wenwu.
And
Wonderful, as a villain. I loved that. I love although it wasn't too deep, I like the family dynamic and the rings. The rings, man, are so cool.
yeah.
I just really thought it hit a lot of check marked a lot of boxes and more than I expected.
Yeah.
And so I love that movie. I've watched it multiple times now, so I think it's really great.
So for me, I agree with most of what you said. I think it was like I've watched this movie more than any other Phase 4 film.
Okay, there
Uh,
you wow. Okay, that's good.
Even No Way Home, just barely. But I I've watched this more than any other film, and every other time I watch it, I can find something a little bit more wrong with it.
Sure. Okay.
I do think, yeah, go ahead.
I agree with no, I was just saying I agree with you. Like when you rewatch it, I know there's like, it doesn't hold up as well. That being said, I don't know. I've watched it multiple times now. I still by the end of the movie, I'm always like, I can't help but I enjoyed that still. It's still a fun watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, there's a couple things like, Aquafina's character is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. She always is.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess that's
She
to
really
expect,
is.
right?
In all
And
honesty.
then I do think the movie's a little long. It lags in the middle there, and the
Yeah,
third
yeah.
act is long as well.
I do, but I love. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I think the part of the movie where it starts to lose steam is like right when they get to
Yes,
that new area. But
the new
fucking man,
dimension.
and I was feeling it, but with the fucking dragons at the end, bro, and like the emotional payoff, I was like, okay, I'm on board. That's
Yeah.
fine. As long as
And
the
then
dragon fights, it's
in,
dope.
in terms of playing it safe as an origin story, I think this plays it about as safe as you can.
It plays
You
it
know,
safe, yeah.
dad son relationship. And okay, we get it.
But
Uh,
but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I will agree with you. The action is great. A star is fucking born. Simu
Yes.
Liu is amazing in this
He's
film.
so great.
Can't wait to see more of him as Shang-Chi going forward and for him to team up with more of the MCU characters.
Yeah.
I don't know when we'll see him again, but hey, the director of this is directing Kang Dynasty.
Daniel Bryan Cretton. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's so
Great
yes,
direction. Yeah.
yeah, great direction. So I'm very excited. Again,
Fun.
it slips out of the S tier because of some flaws, but
I
in
I
terms
like
of or yeah, A tier,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I look again. I have a bias towards it. It just makes me feel really good. But I can totally see on a narrative standpoint, right? Like I totally get it. I totally get it. So even if, like, honestly, if this were to slip to B in a few, in a few minutes,
Yeah,
I get it. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I just have like a personal bias. So if you were to
Yeah,
give it to me as you did, I would
yeah,
at
I'll
least
give
put
it.
it to A right now. But
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay. Well, that's Shang-Chi. So we're two down. We have a D and a B that has been added. Now we're jumping to the next film that was released chronologically, of course, and that is Eternals. And
Oh baby.
we're gonna take it. And this is as
Where's it going?
high as I can go with it.
Where are you going? B?
B.
Oh,
That's as high as I can go with it.
I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Oh, you're fine with that. Okay, great.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that.
Let's talk about Eternals. It's a much maligned movie. A lot of people did not like it. They hated the color grading of it. They hated the
Yeah.
story of it. It got a lot of hate. But for me and Ed, we both loved it.
I love that
Um,
movie.
and I've seen it. I've seen it a few times.
Me too.
I think it holds up pretty well. I think Chloe Zhao did a really good job with it. I feel there's a lot of people that really just did not like her
To this
direction.
day, people
No,
have not changed their mind.
no,
They
no,
absolutely do not like the movie.
yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah, me either. And look, at least it was something different. You know, it juggled a lot of characters, and I thought it did so in a fine pace.
Me too.
There seems to be a lot of people that get very angry with the film that it starts with a title scroll. But you know what?
What?
Like,
Why?
who cares? Like you're gonna take something off a movie just for that?
People
Uh,
get tired of they didn't like the title scroll in the
yeah,
beginning?
title scroll. They don't like that, and
What the fuck kind of criticism is that?
I don't know. And I will fight you to this day, till the end of time. The best speedster action scene we've
Oh,
ever gotten on film is Makari versus Icarus at the end of
100%.
this movie, and it's not even close.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Even close. It's
No.
better than the Quicksilver X-Men Days of Future Past scene. It
Yes.
is so cool. She's a badass. That was really dope. And look, I think the reason it drops to a B, there's a lot of like, what actually does this mean toward the MCU? And
Right.
fair, like, yeah, I agree. I don't really actually know what any of it means to the
But
MCU.
at the same time, at least at the time, at the time it was only maybe like the third movie that came out, or fourth movie, third or
Was it
fourth
third
movie,
movie? Was it
third
third
movie that came out. I didn't care because I didn't really want anything to feel like they had to tie to anything. I
Right.
just wanted good stories.
Yeah.
Like Shang-Chi again, like Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know,
I think that I think that criticism for me is what is kind of like creeping up into my psyche now, because like if I throw away that criticism, I would put it in like an A tier, because I
wow.
really did enjoy the film, and I enjoyed the direction. I have a lot of fun with it. But when I look at it in the grand scheme of things, sort of like why Loki's S tier, right? The opposite reason. When I look at it like that, I just don't know what any of it means. Like,
I agree, but here's the thing. Look, if you
ever
even
again,
if you even said that Loki was sort of like the starting point of like, oh, this is what Phase 4 is about, don't you think it's a little bit unfair to criticize Eternals on that when it wasn't really in that flow yet? Like in the sense that, like, look, after Loki came out, I was like, oh, okay, now they're saying this is the beginning. So anything that comes after it, I do expect a little bit of the movies to be like, okay, let's build up on this. And so I do think it's a fair criticism if those movies after Loki or something like that if they don't do it well. I think that's a fair criticism. But before Loki, it's like, I don't know. Was it promised yet at the time? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. That's all I'm saying.
But Loki came out before it.
Did it? Did
Yes.
it?
Yes.
No shit. Let's see. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
man.
I was just wrong. I don't know. Then never
Loki
mind.
came out before that. I'm
Okay, you're right.
sure.
Fine, fair enough.
Because if not, Loki would have come out this summer.
I totally forgot.
too.
I actually have I don't remember. When did it come out?
But like, okay, I
Oh,
think we're
you're
getting to
right.
the
Oh my god, it did come out in 2021. I thought
yeah,
it was
like
before that.
what we're all we're already getting into the biggest problem of this. Look how many of these titles here on Phase 4 are ranked, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to go. 8.
Yeah.
Phase 3 had like 7 total.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, this was insane.
So yeah, and again, I enjoyed it, but we'll pull it back. We'll pull back the enjoyment. We'll drop it at B. I think that's totally.
I'm with you. I'm with you at B. Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump to the next one that came out in chronological order, and I will let you take it. It is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad
Let me know where to-
because I mean, I don't know where else to put this but A tier. I think it's A. I think it's A.
Oh,
Wait, okay, hold on. We're talking. This is just Phase 4, right? Oh fuck,
even
man.
if it wasn't, but go ahead.
Oh, we're just talking Phase 4. Oh, okay. See, fucking A, man. Shit. Okay. S or A? It's either S or A. That's what I think.
But
Do you think it's lower than A?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I think it's A.
If you were gonna say it was lower than A, I'd be like, what?
You know what?
It's S or A.
I think it has to be S for me.
Okay. If we're talking Phase 4 specifically, I would say S.
Yeah. All right.
Especially if you're gonna put up with Loki, I'm gonna be like, yes.
Let's put it up with S. I think that's the best place to put it because look, we got Toby, we got Andrew. I know there's a lot of problems with the story of this movie. Go ahead.
No. Please continue first for a second. I'll bring it up after. Go ahead. Keep going.
I know there's a lot of problems with the story of this movie. A lot. I get it. But we got what I would say is the best like third act of a Marvel film ever. When Toby and Andrew come in and they have that chat or the heart-to-heart on the rooftop of the school. It is from emotional, the acting, everything from the moment Toby and Andrew jump on screen, it all didn't matter to me anymore because that was about as film perfect as it could be.
It's magic,
It was magical. It was what you want. You want to feel that when you're watching a movie like that. Yeah, for me, it's an S tier because of the amazing third act it put out.
No, I agree. And I personally even like it so much because it really had a great story. Even without Andrew and Toby, I thought they did a great job with giving us a story to really care about. One that was deeply emotional for all the characters involved, and to had done that with not just a lot of villains, but villains we'd known about before. I think it beautifully mixed everything together, and I also think it surpassed my expectations. So for those reasons, and then making me cry as a 32-year-old man for 30 minutes straight, I see why that deserves S tier. So I'm glad you think the same. But here's the thing.
Okay.
If that's going to be S tier, you think Loki's as great as that? If that's our S tier, right? You think Loki's that guy? Because now that if you're going to put fucking No Way Home at S tier, I don't think Loki deserves A tier if that's the bar now, in my opinion. Just saying.
Okay. I'm happy to move Loki down.
In comparison, that's all I'm saying. It's all relative.
In comparison,
right?
Yeah, going back on this, Loki can't touch.
So bad because I do like Loki, but I definitely don't think it's like S, like the best thing.
The best thing, right. Yeah. I would agree. I think that's fair. I think that's 100% fair. Okay,
love it.
All right. Shall we continue with the movies?
Yes.
All right.
Fun.
So the next one for you, since I
No,
took
no,
Spider-
no. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. No, no, you gave that to me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
No, no, no,
Oh,
it's you, bro.
all right.
It's you.
Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of
Oh,
Madness.
okay. I'm glad you
Sam
gave
Raimi's
it.
return. Um, I'm just gonna I'm gonna drop it right here, and that's me being gracious.
Where did you
It's
put
not
it? You put it in
C.
C?
Yeah,
I love that. Yes, I
yeah.
would 100%
That's
agree with C.
that's
Yes.
me being gracious. That's just because at the moment
Ooh,
we
being
have What
gracious.
If and Black Widow and D, and it wasn't as bad as those two.
No, I
Um,
wouldn't say that.
but you want to talk about a way to kick off a summer disappointed? This movie would
Mhm.
be the definition of it.
Yeah.
Um, the problems with this movie are immense. They're like you push aside your main character, you make him dumb to tell Wanda, you make him weaker than the dude fucking went toe to toe with Thanos and then now is a moron and gets tricked in every way he goes. And there was really only one or two moments in the movie that I was like, woohoo, that was great. Even the Illuminati scene felt incredibly flat to me.
That really disappointed me.
Yeah, I just didn't
Absolutely.
care.
Execution come on all the whole scene was such a disappointment.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
died so quick.
Yeah, and such like a weird I don't the tone was weird.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
they were
understand
all
what I'm supposed to feel like.
assholes.
So you show me Illuminati and like fucking these insane cameos. Let's not forget about John Krasinski as as Mr. Reed Richards.
Yeah,
And then you kill them. I didn't understand what that was supposed to
eh,
make me feel.
yeah,
It was
and
very frustrating.
I've
I
said
hated
this to
it.
you before, but if there was some sort of payoff to that at the end of the movie in a post-credit scene of, hey, one of those seats was empty. If whoever that last member was came by and saw all these people dead and then
Right.
went and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, we got now it's, now we're on to Secret Wars." Hey,
Something.
yes,
Something.
or
Yeah, like
something.
that.
But you know what, man? Like that movie was just so disappointing, and it's not Sam Raimi's fault. Sorry, alarm going off there.
How
It's
dare
not
you?
Sam Raimi's fault. But I just can't fucking deal with that movie
Yeah,
and how disappointing it was.
absolutely.
I've seen it a couple times after, and like
Didn't help.
there's no woohoo moments. Like
No, not
Marvel
really.
has somehow, some way, lost its way to like make me stand out of a chair and go, "Let's effing go."
Yeah, and, speaking of standing out of a chair, like, you have, Xavier. I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. But you had Xavier in the yellow chair,
Yeah,
and, yeah, you snap his neck. It's like it's the '90s yellow chair, and, like, they don't do anything to remedy to just kinda curb that what they end up doing.
right.
Again, I love your idea of that perfect scene, like, at the end where they just maybe we find out that those were all not them for real, like, that was an
Yeah,
illusion to help, just get away from Wanda.
yeah,
But no, it's not. It's, like, actually happened, and you go like,
right.
"What the fuck was that?"
Yeah,
Thanks
exactly.
a lot.
That's
Yeah.
what you do. You go, "What? Well, it was all for nothing then? That's it?
Yeah, it's
Not for
so
nothing?"
I just
Yeah.
didn't like the way that the taste it left in my mouth was just not great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
America Chavez, I just, like, didn't really love her inclusion in the movie. It just seemed like she
She's
was
fine.
she was a walking, talking MacGuffin. That's what she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it just all could have been so much better, and again, it just felt like with everything in MCU Phase 4, it just felt like it was like a reset on our heroes, on our
That
main heroes. Yeah,
yeah. That's a good way. I love the way you put that. Yes,
yeah.
100%. And I
So
mean a reset and also like some of them are being completely kind of emasculated too. Where
they have worked incredibly hard to make the women of MCU be perfect and great and strong and just make the men dumb and useless.
I would argue they've worked even harder to try to make them dumb and useless. Like it
Yeah,
I
they were yeah.
like how do we actually make this work? Like how
Yeah.
do we actually make this happen? Like really? That was like part of the thing anyways.
Marvel, we can have both,
You
Can
could
fight.
totally have both.
Great women heroes and great men heroes.
I thought that's what equality was all about, but
Yeah, it
okay.
doesn't have to be one or the other, man. Okay. So that's Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
All
Massive
right.
disappointment. So you get to take the next one if we're going in chronological order,
Oh no.
which gets to be Miss Marvel.
No,
Uh,
why did you do this?
Oh,
This is
oh,
a
I
mistake.
get the next one. I get Thor: Love and
I know.
Thunder. So
Okay, yeah, but you actually, I mean, this is a mistake. I didn't even watch like the second to the last episode. I didn't even finish it, so I'm so sorry. But if that's any
mhm.
case to me actually putting this in a slot, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to put it in D.
Oh,
Probably D.
I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna drop it in F, and I'm
No,
happy you put it in D.
because there are definitely worser ones, but
Yes,
for
yeah,
sure, 100%
yeah,
there was worse.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Uh,
look, go ahead.
no, I was just say, yeah, it's a lot of people are using the term "it's not a show for me." Sure, fine. I don't. Okay, fine. I
Yeah,
wasn't. They didn't necessarily ship it as a show for children at the time, but okay, sure, fine. But it does. When you watch it, it ends up being sort of like this. It's clearly a high school show, a coming of age high
yeah,
school drama,
yeah,
and definitely less for adults and more for that age group. And
yeah,
you know, and it was even then, I would say it was fine, but a lot of it I just didn't find it that funny. I thought that particularly I thought Miss Marvel as a character was not a great hero. I
yeah,
didn't understand like what was her MO? Like, did she want to be a hero or not? I wasn't getting that. And then she was just wanting to be a hero because she wanted to impress this like her love life. And that's fine, but I don't know if they ever really remedied that. And just by the
yeah,
end of the show, I just didn't understand what was so great about this person as a hero, as someone I'm
yeah,
supposed to really like root for. I wasn't really getting it,
yeah,
and um,
yeah.
that's all I have to say. Like it just fine. If it wasn't for me, it wasn't for me. But too bad. I'm putting it in D. So
Yeah, look, yeah, again, it's the "wasn't for me" argument that's keeping the show out of the F file for us,
right,
just because, like, look, I get it, yeah,
it's a poor excuse though. I'm sorry. It
girl,
is. That's not a good excuse. I don't think that exists because like
yeah,
I watched Sonic 2, and when I watched Sonic 2, that show is not that movie's
the
not
movie
for
was
me.
fun,
But
yeah,
I thought it was fun. I
yeah,
did. I was like I was able to put myself in a kid's shoes and go, "Yeah, I like that." I mean, for what it is, I thought it was fun. And so I
yeah,
can do that. So see, good movies can do that. Good anythings can still
yeah,
make you, feel a
like,
part of it, even if it's not necessarily made for you. So I think that argument's invalid here, but
yeah,
whatever. Fine.
Shrek, the greatest animated
Oh
movie
yeah.
for adults and kids ever made,
Yes.
I'd
Yeah.
argue. It's got the adult humor, and it works. It's not made for adults,
No.
but adults can sit there and enjoy it and laugh their butts off.
I
Um
100% agree.
So like, yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Look, not for us, but yeah, the character, I think you nailed it on the head, dude. Like the character was all over the place. Does she want to be a hero or does she want to do it for her love life?
Yeah.
What is it? She came off as, I know that they were trying to make her feel like, oh, she's like an MCU fan. She's a fan of all these characters, but she came off as annoying as hell.
Yeah, she was just annoying.
Which maybe that's how we all come off. Uh,
It's a reflection.
Yeah, maybe
I
it's a
mean,
reflection of us. Maybe Kevin Feige's trying to tell us something. But
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, the character arc wasn't great. The visuals weren't great. It just like I don't understand. Like again, it felt like a character that no matter what she did wrong, there was going to be no consequences for her actions.
Yes, I forgot to yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
Correct. There's no
and
real stakes. Like, what was the stakes against her? I didn't really
yeah,
understand it.
there's no
That
real
her
stakes.
family wouldn't accept her just because she
Yeah,
wanted to be like Miss Marvel? Like,
like,
okay, big fucking deal.
and who's the bad guy? Damage control or this lady that wants the bangle? Like, who's the bad guy? I don't understand. It all
Yeah,
felt so pointless to me.
it really did. And
Uh,
here's the thing. And honestly, I just want to bring this up really quick because I was thinking
go
of
ahead.
it. I don't know if this is true, but one of the key things about making a character sort of interesting and also like have stakes as a
Yeah,
hero is
yeah,
that they come from kind of broken families, right? They come from families that aren't completely whole.
that makes sense.
She has a full family that she has her
Yeah,
mom, she has her dad, she has her brother. They're
mhm.
annoying, but like at the end of the day, it's like, well, what are you complaining about, bro?
Right. Yeah,
Like when she has problems, like I can't relate to that because you have a pretty good life. Like, oh, boo fucking who? Like, you don't want
yeah,
to, like, sorry, but
yeah.
if
You
you
don't
want to
wanna
be a
follow the
hero, you
rules.
want to be a fucking Avenger, bro.
Yeah,
No, come on, you gotta toughen up more than that. I'm sorry, you're gonna be an Avenger, and that's what you're crying about. Oh, fuck that. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
They didn't do enough to make you love the character. Where the Spider-Man Home trilogy. can be looked at as one big origin story for Peter Parker and
Yeah,
why you should love his character.
sure.
This was not the same good start they got. Like there was just
No,
I don't know. It was just I tried to give it my best shot, and I watched it all, and
good for you.
hey, good.
You should have been the one to take this because I didn't even I didn't watch the
Oh,
last
well, hey, I get to do Thor: Love and Thunder, but again, listen,
yes. What
this was a fine show, fine attempt.
Bro, I
Of
thought you fucking froze for a second.
Oh, I don't
For a
wanna
second I was like, "Are you okay? What
I don't
happened?
wanna
Did
be
you?"
too hard on it
No, I
because at
get you.
the
I
end of the
feel
day,
you.
like, look,
I
I
feel
get
you.
it. It's not for us, we fucking get it, but,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it should be better because, again, this character is gonna be a massive character moving forward into
Yes.
Marvel, and, like, if
Yeah.
you don't get these characters right, people aren't gonna care.
Yeah,
Like
I agree. Just
and
again, it's about the character. And like
right.
at the end of the day, I don't relate to her, and I don't think she's a good hero. I really don't.
Right, and you don't think
I
she's a
don't
good
think.
hero. You don't
Yeah,
relate to her, and you don't think she's a good
I
hero.
think if you're gonna be an Avenger, I think there's a bar. You have to have a standard. Like,
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
but you do have to have standards to be a
Yes.
hero. You can't just fucking throw heroism at any like just cheap person. I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
don't deserve to have that. You just
dude,
don't. And
exactly.
I don't think she earned it. I just don't think she earned it. I'm sorry.
Yes, and that's the biggest problem, right? Like, of the characters they given us, look at what listed here already. Like, what new character are we fully invested in? Shang-Chi. That's it.
Probably should. Yeah, Sean. Yeah,
That's it. Like, I
that's
can't
really it.
name anybody in the Eternals, even though I enjoyed the movie,
Yeah, yeah,
and you needed the show to be to really make an impact,
yeah.
to grab new people, because again,
And
you've
to be fair to the Eternals, the reason why we probably don't is because they were inherently programmed to save us. So it's like,
right.
you know, just saying. Anyways, keep going.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. And look, you need these characters to be hits because we've lost mainstays.
Yes.
And so far, what we've gotten in this list so far is you've neutered Doctor Strange. Black
Mhm,
Widow is dead, so it doesn't matter. Hawkeye is
mhm.
deaf. Kate Bishop is fine, but like
Okay.
if she like super he's Hawkeye's deaf. He's useless now.
That's just funny. That's funny you said that.
Like Wanda's a bad guy. Moon Knight is incredibly effed up. You're not going to follow him.
Yeah, but I do love that
Um,
story.
you love Bucky, but do you love Bucky as much as you love Sam? Honestly, do you?
Like
Yeah,
Sam as Captain America?
no, like Sam in general. Do you like Bucky as much as you like Sam in general? You don't.
No.
Okay, so you see where we're going here,
Yeah, I
Marvel?
feel
You
you.
got a little bit of a problem. All right, that's it on this one.
You're
So
right.
this gets a D, and it deserves to be there. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it still wasn't as bad as this one. Let's just rip off the fucking Band-Aid. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm taking it.
Uh,
It is dog shit. I don't. I'm gonna make a bold statement. I'd rather rewatch Miss Marvel season 1 every day of my life than ever watch this movie again. This was the worst Marvel movie ever made. The worst MCU movie ever made. I fucking hate this movie, Ed. The more I think about it, the more I hate it because of the absolute massive waste of potential. I'd rather watch, we haven't even fucking ranked this yet, but I would rather watch She-Hulk season 1 than ever watch Thor
Oh,
Love and Thunder again. Thor Love and Thunder was the biggest piece of hot garbage I've ever seen. The hammer, it can just put itself back together. Thor is a bumbling moron after he proved he wasn't. Jane, nobody gives a shit about you. Get the fuck out of here. Eat your own hammer. Valkyrie, I don't care about your love life. I just don't care. Great, you're named King Valkyrie. Woohoo! Women rights. You did it. Fucking did it. I don't care. Korg, shut up. You are the best character, the best surprise in Thor Ragnarok, and you completely ruined it. And then the Guardians. You almost thankfully, James Gunn probably stepped in and said, "Hey, my Guardians are only going to be from this to this, and that's it. And then don't you fucking ruin them." But and then I forgot because my memory.
No, you said enough.
No, I have not.
Oh God! Wow, I
They
love this. Best.
killed, absolutely, just ruined my boy Christian Bale, one of the greatest actors on the planet, and you made him not just that. He's also one of the greatest comic book villains of all time, and you just fucking wasted him.
Yeah.
Just wasted him. Great. I cannot stand this movie, Ed. I hate this movie with a passion. Thor: The Dark World is 10 times better than this piece of hot garbage. I hate this movie, and like this was like the first moment in the MCU I really went, what the fuck happened? And I can't stand this movie. I just like Chris Hemsworth himself literally said, "I'm never working with a director again that's like Taika Waititi." Like he's on record saying that. That's how
I love this. This is why we do this stuff.
Yeah.
No, I can't follow that up, man. Because I agree with you. I agree with you. Like everything you said. I don't have to reiterate everything you just said. I agree with you. And you know what's funny is that when I first watched the movie, you know, the thing that I came out thinking was, well, you know, Taika made the movie he wanted to make. Like that was the movie he wanted to make.
Yeah.
And it was like I was trying to just make you laugh every once in a while. And which it did. It was successful in that. But in terms of making a good movie, it was absolute ass. Yes. Oh, man. It was terrible. It was not a good experience.
This
whatsoever.
Is what happens when you give your director too much. Like you let him write the film, you let him produce the film, you let him fucking direct the film, and you didn't like Kevin Feige. Like, what are you doing? You watched this movie and went, "Oh, it's good."
I think that he put a little too much trust in him. And again, you know, we've heard that there are reports that Feige has been spread thin. Yeah. I just think that he this was one of those that he went, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine." And you know what? Lesson learned. That's all we can say for Feige. So.
Yeah. Look, you almost ruined Thor. Like, actually, you did ruin Thor. There were plans to be a Thor 5 after this, and those plans have reportedly been canceled.
Yeah.
Like, I think this movie reportedly still lost $100 million, even though it grossed $700 million. Jesus. But like, guys, like again, I've said this before, and I know I make you laugh every time I say it, but everybody in the fucking movie was gay. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't
care. Like, again, love whoever you want to love. I don't give a damn. I just want a good movie to watch.
Yeah.
And this, like, again, you worked so hard to make Thor an idiot. Jane was amazing at everything. Mm-hmm. But for what reason? Like, why
she
are
just,
you
like, knew how to fight? She just knew, like, literally it was days. Like, just days. I thought they were gonna be like some kind of time jump, but no, it's just days.
You completely made the point of Ragnarok and Infinity War pointless. Thor doesn't need to go make the hammer because he can just put back together Mjolnir.
It was complete. Like, again, they put that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're right, because it's just like a long time ago, he was like, "Hey, help out Jane." So like, really? So the fucking hammer just knows only for Jane to come back, but not when the fucking planet or everyone's at stake. The universe is at stake. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I just can't deal with how bad this movie was. Ed.
I don't know how you go from Ragnarok, which is the greatest Thor movie, to the worst Thor movie.
Ragnarok is up there, dude, with like Winter Soldier, like as like best Marvel movies.
To some people, yeah, sure. I don't disagree.
Yeah. I mean, I just like I was sitting in the movie theater just going to myself,
SMH.
I have a friend who I took to the Captain Marvel screening with me, and when No Doubt song plays, when he literally goes, "Oh my god, of course it's No Doubt." But like when I felt that. I felt
Same.
that in my bones when Jane says, "Eat my hammer," and I was like, "Oh, oh, 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 sit down, lunch lady, sit down, just sit down." Yeah, I just there. Uh, I don't. I know I've said this a lot this year yet, and I'm so sorry, but this is literally the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen, and it's not even close, and it just makes me sad. And I think this is where my like Marvel fatigue hit
Is
me,
hitting.
and I
Yeah.
think this is where a lot of people's Marvel fatigue hit because I have a lot of
Clear.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
I have a
clear.
lot of friends, dude, that like straight up texted me saying, "Dude, I just don't give a shit after this anymore because it was so bad."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, it, yeah, it was bad. Anyway, let's move on because I can go on Thor: Love and
And
Thunder. You
I
want to say
think I
anything
can.
else on Thor: Love and Thunder? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say that I can speak for everyone listening. That we could listen to you for another hour, uh,
It,
going on about it. You know.
dude, I just like don't. I don't know what happened. It just like should have been so good. Taika's back.
No,
Thor,
it had all the ingredients for it
and
to
it
be
just
incredible. You had Academy Award winners
you had, you had
on
Russell Crowe.
you
I mean,
had
and he was an
Russell
asshole.
Crowe. You
He was a
had people
goat.
who've won Oscars. Taika himself has won an Oscar.
Yeah,
Uh, how does that piece of shit come out of that?
dude. Like,
Only from the direction could that have happened.
yeah,
And there you go.
absolutely. And like again, like it should have been good, and it wasn't, and it just like
It should have been even just a little bit like there's a lot of runway
yeah,
between what it could have been and what we got.
yeah.
There's so much. And it's
s-
baffling. It's
So
baffling how that could have happened. It just baffles me. Yeah,
yeah.
no. No.
So but anyway, yeah, that's it on Thor: Love and Thunder. You get to go next, and you get to put the
Great.
other one that probably made us feel massive fatigue. Where would you like to put She-Hulk, Eternia?
Oh, buddy. Go put it right. At least Thor can have a snuggle buddy. Because yeah,
Oh,
boom. Thank you. Thank you. In fact, I'm glad you put it as F because if that stayed E, I would have asked you to change it to F for this
yes,
fucking show alone. Um, and on my list, these are the two bottom ones on not only this list, but my just as a preview, MCU total. These are
yes,
the two bottom. These are the absolute worst shows
oh,
and movies that MCU has ever produced.
absolutely.
But She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, again, if you haven't been hiding around rock, this show is atrocious
Yes.
on every possible level.
Please
Is this
take the floor.
show?
Take the
Yeah, it,
floor. Yeah.
dude. What is this show about? I just tell me what the show is about. I'd love to know. I'm still looking. What is the show about? I don't
God.
know. There's a woman, she's an attorney, and then every episode that comes out, it's like she's at a dinner, she's at a wedding, she kind of attorneys every once in a while, and
She's a
she's going to like fucking rages and like all this young shit that LA shit that I don't. What is going on? This show is so bad on every single level because it doesn't know what it wants to be. The
mhm,
writer, we've said this before, that the writers that were involved, the directors, everyone behind the camera on this show
mhm.
was not meant to make an MCU show. And they
Okay.
didn't want to make an MCU show. They were given the keys to do what they wanted, and it wasn't anywhere near the vicinity of a superhero show.
Right.
You see that automatically from
Mhm.
episode 1, where they neuter our boy, Mr. Hulk himself, on
Oh,
episode 1.
God.
And then they
Yeah.
gave that now almost infamous speech from Jennifer Walters saying, I know how to handle anger. I deal with anger, or what is it? I deal
I
with
because I
uh
do it infinitely
infinitely
more.
more. I handle my anger infinitely more than you do. Jesus fucking Christ. I made me want to throw myself out of my own window. I could not believe, and that set the tone for the rest
Oh,
of the
yeah.
show
Yeah.
easily. But you still expected it to get better, didn't you? You still
Well,
did,
because
right?
we were dangled
Yes.
fucking our boy, Matt
Yes.
Murdock, they put it in the trailer, and then you know where they fucking put him? They put
At
him
the
in
end.
episode 8.
Yeah.
The very last episode before the finale or something, or maybe episode 7.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is where
Wow.
you're gonna fucking drop our boy
Yeah,
here.
100%.
And the
And to
only
be fair,
thing
he's the best part. He's easily the best part of the show.
and they
It's
still
not even
kind of
close.
yeah, like he was so
And they still
jokey and
botch it.
happy. Like I
Yeah.
get he's a different Matt Murdock. So if you're upset about Matt Murdock, you have every right to be
Yeah.
upset about how they portrayed him. I don't, I'm not. I can see him as a different one, but I can't agree with you more, man.
Yeah. It's a terrible. It's the worst. It's the
Again,
worst.
I did say in
Literally
the
one
last-
of the worst shows ever made. I think it's one of the worst shows I've ever seen and ever made.
I'm so glad you said that because I was literally about to say, Olivia, my wife, about 4 episodes in, she said, "I think this might be the worst show I've ever watched in my life."
Bingo.
My wife said, "I think this might be the worst show I've ever watched." Okay, like, dude, what the fuck, Marvel? Like,
Yeah, this was
and you notice a trend here. You gave us Miss Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk. And this was another thing where you're just like,
one after the other, baby.
my very good friend, always talking to me about Marvel, texting me, Marvel's just not required viewing anymore.
Yeah.
That is what these 3 shows in sequence did.
Yeah.
Like, listen to that. Marvel is not required watching anymore.
Totally.
That's what these 3 shows did. And
Another one would be like Marvel's blind at the wheel. Like Feige's not in the office right now. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Feige's not in office. He's not. This is not the work of who we saw in phase 1 through 3. This is not who is there at all.
Obviously, I agree with you on F, but there's a point that I want to hammer home that you said so beautifully. The writers that they've hired for these shows and the movies do not give a shit about Marvel. And
No.
If you don't care or know about the product you're working on, how are you supposed to make a good product? Like, you're not. Like, and these characters, like, there was a quote from one of the women who wrote this show. Said, I'm so proud that our show is the horniest show of MCU so far. And I was like,
What the fuck does that even mean?
what the fuck does that have to do with the MCU?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No,
Like,
no one wanted that as a goal.
Yeah, like, I'm glad you got your chance to make this show. And I'm glad you got your break. I'm sure you've worked hard for it or whatever the fuck. But
I would say no, but okay, keep going.
Yeah, but like, come on, dude. Like, what?
Way to pat yourself on the back, give yourself a
I'm glad
trophy,
you pat
which I'm
yourself on
sure you were given a bunch of trophies growing up.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I couldn't agree with you more. Again, I think this show is somehow, some way better viewing than Thor: Love and Thunder.
This is how much I hate the show. I would put it below Thor: Love and Thunder because at least
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, well, because at least I can if you look at Thor: Love and Thunder as is, I can laugh at a few moments. I love Zeus. I really did like Zeus. But She-Hulk has literally almost nothing. I have nothing about it.
I guess that's kind of a good point, actually.
There's just nothing. There's just nothing. There's nothing about She-Hulk that I think is anywhere close to what I would consider that has a brain. It just doesn't. It's completely brain dead viewing. It's just or filmmaking. I would say. Sorry, filmmaking. Again, we've mentioned that it has horrible editing. It has no sense of direction. There's one episode where Wong is wanted for like a criminal. The next one he's on like they're doing his trial. I'm like, I don't understand. This makes no sense. This makes zero sense. Like,
in one of our
what are you doing?
One of our first TikToks, I posted that the editing was so bad, and I said it breaks the 180 rule in the courtroom scene. And a couple people said it literally doesn't break the 180 rule, and I'm like, bitch.
Yeah, it does.
At one point, we're looking this way, and then the action's going that way. That's the 180 rule. Maybe you should. Never mind.
They don't know what that means. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, maybe they don't know what that means. But like,
oh god.
Literally, critical drinker. He
my
literally
favorites.
says he was talking about She-Hulk and how bad the writing is, and as the scene's playing out, he goes in his video, he's like, "Yo, this is actually a scene in the show, by the
Yeah,
way. This is
right.
how it's edited." Um, but yeah, everything about that show was just poorly done, and
Yeah. It's barely a show. It's barely a show.
there's no narrative. There's
Barely a
no
show.
like Jen's portrayed as this perfect lawyer, even though every time we see her, she's a terrible fucking lawyer.
I think she's a
Um,
terrible person.
she is a terrible
I
person,
think she's a terrible human being.
but dude, like there's a character there that you could work into, and you don't. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
she's terrible, but we're supposed to like her.
Yeah.
And this is like, again, I know we've said this for a year now that this podcast has been going on. This is like an amalgamation of what the MCU thinks women heroes are. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
again, like when I say that, I don't want you to get confused with perfect casting because I had a friend saying, "Hey
Oh,
man,
no.
I would argue that Captain America is perfect." And I said, "No,
No,
you're
he's
arguing
not.
you're arguing that Chris Evans portrays a perfect Captain America."
Right.
And when I said that to him, he was like, "Yeah, aren't you saying that or what aren't you saying that Brie Larson isn't playing a perfect character?" And I'm saying, "No. I'm saying that there is no adversity that hits them
Yeah, correct.
that makes them think or develops them or moves them forward." And this is this show. Like she's bad at everything, yet we're supposed to like her. And then she breaks the fourth wall breaks. I know you liked him at the beginning. I
There were some
cannot
that worked. There were some that worked, but overall, I don't give a
I
shit about them. I could
I
give a fuck less about fourth
fucking
one.
hate them. Like, look, Ryan Reynolds is good at them, and then just leave it to him. Just
Yeah,
leave it to
I
him.
don't care for them. I don't give a shit.
I just can't deal with this one.
No, I can't. I hate it. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. I hope that it actually does get burned in a accidental fire. And we just never see it again. I really hope so. But unfortunately, we live in a digital age, so that'll probably never happen. But
Good news is, well, it's good news and bad news is that Miss Marvel season 2 had such bad ratings that they're like, we probably shouldn't do that.
Cool.
She-Hulk supposed to get a season 2. Nope. Thor 5 has literally been canceled. It's been pulled off the table.
I couldn't be happier. I'm glad. Thank
Um,
goodness.
I don't even know what's going on with Doctor Strange, but that's where we are, and it's just like, of course, none of this stuff was going to work the way you want it to when you are this bad at it, Marvel. Like, this bad at it, like, of course, nobody wants to see this stuff.
No.
Nobody. So yeah. So I will throw this to you. Do you want to do Wakanda Forever first and then the special presentations, or should we just go straight into special presentations?
No, let's do it, like keep it in order. Well, because what came first? Werewolf by Night and then Wakanda?
Yeah.
No, let's just keep going with the when it released.
Chronological order?
I think
All
so.
right,
Yeah, I think we should go chronological.
Okay, so this is obviously a little bit tricky, but if we were to treat this as a show, which is a special presentation, this is where I would put Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
And you may agree.
I like how you did this fake out there.
You're welcome. This is where I would put Werewolf by Night.
Okay. Okay.
I'm torn. It could be an A, it could be a B.
I would put. I mean, okay. Look, we have to look at it with what's sort of there roughly. So what's an A right now? We got Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Loki.
I'm fine with B.
I'm also fine with B.
Okay.
I think overall, I mean, it was a very strong. Like I have almost, I have very little bad to say about it in the sense, but it's one of those things I'm wondering, like, is it because it was short? Like, is that and like, that makes me want to go,
Yeah,
well, then
dude.
but that's not a good reason to not give it like A just because it was too short. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm the same way. Like, so for me, I have almost nothing bad to say about this.
Yeah, dude, I could totally agree with you. I just
like worked a little bit to restore my faith in Marvel. There was some really cool moments, especially when Jack, transforms into the werewolf and it was done all in camera and this beautiful like strobe light
It's
hitting in
beautiful.
actors are coming in to like change and then change and change and change. And then they had the one shot scene where he kind of beats everybody up. I thought Man Thing's inclusion was cool. By the way, if you are in the world out there and you are like being these people pushing Man Thing and Jack to be a couple, stop it. Can't we just
That's been going around. What?
Yes. Fucking New Rock Stars posted a video about it. Are Man Thing and Jack a
I
couple?
thought they were just best friends.
Can you know why we talked about Triple R last week?
Who gives a shit?
You know why Triple R was great? Because it was a story of friends. There's
Yeah.
no insinuating that they're like lovers or anything like that. We don't need to do that.
Because it doesn't
America-
matter. For one,
Exactly.
it just doesn't matter.
Matter.
It doesn't change the story whatsoever.
Fucking friends. Chill out, world. Anyway,
Yeah, why does everything gotta be gay? Fucking A. Like,
I don't know. Thor: Love and Thunder. Why does everything got to be gay?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Can't with that movie.
I don't know.
That's
That's fine. Look, actually, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
If we're saying that we have no problem with it, besides maybe it was just I want more. I don't see why it doesn't deserve A. I just don't.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, I was great. I love the music. I love the cinematography. The performance were awesome.
You know what?
Like
It was great. It was
really
great.
great. Man.
Yeah.
I had no problem with it, dude.
How do you say his name? Michael Giacchino?
Yeah, I think it was Giacchino. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yes. He was, dude.
Knocked it out of the park.
He's a typical composer, but like he got his chance to direct and he knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it
Everything
out of
was
the
really
park.
great. It was a really it was a nice love letter to old horror. We got to meet a couple new characters, Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah,
Now look,
great character.
Marvel, I don't know what you're going to do with all these characters. I don't know if they're all coming back or if they're never coming back. But this was a cool start. Man Thing was really cool.
Yeah, I like Man Thing a lot.
So yeah, Werewolf by Night. I would give it an A.
I'll give it an A. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you take Wakanda Forever.
Okay. This
This is tough, man.
This one's a hard one.
This was a tough one.
This is a tough one because I think just to let everybody know, we both did love this movie.
Yes.
I think it is a great movie.
Yes.
I had without there's some flaws.
Yes.
Particularly, I didn't like the last act very much, but
agreed.
It's still really great filmmaking, man. And again, with what our list right now, when you have like like Moon Knight in A, Loki in A, Shang-Chi in A, I liked Wakanda Forever more than Loki. I liked it better than Moon Knight. Like I can't help but say that I think I'd be comfortable putting this in S.
Ooh.
Alongside No Way Home or A, but I would be comfortable putting it in S because, dude, the villain, it's been a long time since I loved the villain, and the villain was so good. Not only that, it's amazingly directed. It did everything it was supposed to, and then I think again a little more besides the third act, but still was like the worst third act of all time. It wasn't that, but everything before that was just so good, man. I was just so hooked.
I don't know if I could give it an A. I would have put it here.
You put it at B.
I would put it at B.
Oh wow! I
love the movie, and I think it's good. But in the grand scheme of things, here we'll drop it at A for now.
I'm fine with A. I'm fine with A. That's fine. I gotta see it at least an A.
I would. For me, it was more of a B. Again, I think the third act was immensely weak.
I agree with you.
I think it was I know we talked about third act and like Shang-Chi, but like this third act was weak. But I am on record saying that I do think this is the best MCU film of Phase 4. So I'm okay dropping it at A. I'm okay dropping
finding that good balance. Find that good balance.
Yeah,
okay.
After rethinking everything and like re-looking at the movie, we get that amazing bridge scene. Namor is fantastic. He's really great. I mean, again, Marvel casting knocked it out of the park. Again, yeah, I think we really hustled through that third scene, that
Yeah,
third
that
act.
third act. Yeah, it's not. I don't like it. I really don't.
We are preaching, my
Yeah.
man, and we are like, I'm like, fuck. Okay, okay. When is this? Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I
Yeah,
agree. I couldn't agree with you more, but
that's
but at the same time, I also feel like the saving grace for that movie is that it's one of the first times I felt like, okay, this is Marvel stepping up a little bit in its
yeah,
filmmaking. Like
yeah,
that was clear with
yeah,
again, the cinematography, the direction I thought was wonderful. The
yeah.
focus of the story I thought was awesome. And again, it really it had respect
Right,
for almost everything except for a third act narrative. Besides that, it had immense respect for everything,
right.
and
Like,
it did it really, really well
I didn't
than
know eating
most.
the flower made her a martial arts expert and a combat
Yeah,
expert
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I know.
Like,
I know.
like
She know how to
there
ride
are
a bike.
problems
Let's put
yeah,
that out there. She know how to ride a bike, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
yeah. Like,
Uh,
there's problems I start to think about where I'm like, oh, I guess that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Mm,
Again, I would put this in A, but there are just certain things in A where I would be like, well, I definitely liked it more than that. I think it is much better than that.
okay.
But see now, by the way, I just want to say now I'm much more comfortable moving Moon Knight down to B at this point.
Okay, I'm fine with that too,
I know
actually.
you are. I know you are, which is why I want to be fair. I mean, like now that I've seen this, I'm like, I do
All right.
think that those are much better than Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with that as long as you
I
are.
I would completely agree. I think it is better than Moon Knight. I'm fine with it here. I'm totally fine with it. It can
I'm fine
sell
with it.
in
I'm fine with it in A. It's fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
like, I think it's great. Like, look, I think it did its job, and, like, let's be honest, it paid what I would say is amazing tribute to Chadwick Boseman. They did it right. I would have been upset for me, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but for me, I would have been upset if they recast him this quick. Again, we know the future clearly. They introduce his son in this. Spoiler alert. But I think that I should say spoiler alert before I say spoiler, right? But yeah, I think that it does enough for me to be in A,
Yeah.
and it really does. It does a nice job of telling a story of grief, and like I said in our review, it does a pretty good job of going through the stages of grief.
I would 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I
So
100%. And
yeah,
not just for Shuri. I think for all the main
all
characters
the
that were there.
characters.
I
Yeah.
think it gave me one of my new favorite scenes of almost any MC movie on an emotional level, and that's the one with Ramonda and Okoye. I thought
Yes.
that was a beautiful scene. I just love that scene so much. I love
Yeah.
that scene so much.
Ramonda, like she is so good.
And
Give her an
Ramonda, I
Oscar
can
nomination at least.
please. And you know what? What's funny is I went to the Funko store today, actually, in Hollywood. And
Oh,
there's it's of course they have a Marvel section.
of
And
course.
there's a specifically in that they have a Black Panther section.
Oh,
And in the Black Panther section, Ramonda was the most had the least left over. Like, which
oh,
means that people were buying her
yeah,
Funko more than the others. I was like, wow.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, that's a big statement. There's no,
yeah,
she's not even a superhero. You know what I mean?
no,
She's a secondary character,
yeah,
and people really responded to her. I was like, that's
yeah.
great. Yeah, that's
She
really
is
awesome.
fantastic. Namor is fantastic. Just great performances all around, and
Absolutely.
a really wonderful thing. Okay, let's round this off. You
Okay,
ready?
let's do it. Yes, I'm totally ready. I wish it was harder, but yeah.
So do I. I do wish it was harder, but um,
Wow,
to
S. Okay.
to round this off for me, let me explain my mind set going into this movie. I was down on, or sorry, special. I was down on Marvel. I am down on Kevin Feige. I've lost faith in him. I don't know what the next year is going to hold, but seeing this movie and seeing just how much heart James Gunn can put into a 45-minute special and, kind of reinforce the family themes of Guardians of the Galaxy and um and Quill and Rocky and all of these guys and still just kind of like pull on my heartstrings because they're they're Peter's family in more ways than just one. Like Mantis is revealed to be his sister. I had a smile from ear to ear. There was no political message stuffed into this. There was no anything. It was just a fun little Christmas story about the meaning of Christmas. And these guys get to learn it, and we got that cool little animation of Yondu and Quill, and it kind of has a rough start, and then they tell you here's how it starts, and then like fucking your heart just like fucking just when you realize that Quill gave him his first trinket
Yeah.
for his dash. And I think it's an S tier. It restored my faith within Marvel. And again, I'm skeptical of Ant-Man 3. I do think they're going to minimize. I do think they're going to minimize Paul Rudd to make his daughter the hero. And I'm skeptical of the Marvels. I have no fucking clue what that movie's going to be. But I am excited for Guardians 3. And that to me is the movie I'm looking at as the like, here's Marvel. The other two movies, I don't know. Maybe they're great, but here's what Marvel can be, and that's why I'm excited. So if you want to move it from S, I'm fine to move it to A, but I loved it. I loved it.
I do think it's a little high again, but this is more so proximity. Like I don't know if I would. I always use the what's the word? I always use the metaphor of like, well, what would I metaphorically throw in the fire over? And I would there's some stuff in A for sure that I was like, well, I mean, I can't not live with those if Guardians is there. That being said, I mean, you're not wrong, man. Like I also have almost nothing bad to say about Guardians. That special. It was from the beginning to the end. It had me smiling, laughing.
Absolutely.
It tugged on my heartstrings.
Yeah.
It had great music.
Yeah.
So it's in this it's in this where I'm like, well, shit, man. If I have nothing bad to say about it, so what is stopping me from putting it in S tier?
Right. Again, that's where I'm
So
at. With
if it's about filmmaking, if it's about like having no complaints, it's like, well, yeah, I think I'm actually comfortable with that. I am.
All right.
I'm comfortable with putting that in S because I really had I think it's one of the new Christmas specials that I could easily rewatch every single year.
I'm literally watching it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Olivia said, "Can we watch it tomorrow again?" By the way, this is the first Phase 4 project. She's literally saying, "Can we rewatch it?"
Absolutely. I mean,
so, I think that's why it's so high for me.
I can't argue with that. I really can't. So I'm totally okay with that. Guardians in S tier.
Yes.
There you go. It's awesome. It's just from top to bottom. So there
right.
there it is.
There it is, guys. There it is. Our Phase 4 ranking. Now look, could this all change if we're talking about MCU total? Like, would Spider-Man No Way Home be an S tier? Probably. Would the holiday special? Probably not. But for Phase 4, this is it. This is it. This is it. But look,
was it as hard as I thought it was going to be to
no, we agreed pretty easily.
Reason it out. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and look, 2 Fs, Thor, She-Hulk. Oh, good God. And if off the top of my head, if I'm thinking about it, I don't really know if I would rank anything in F outside of those two in the entire MCU.
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
those are on my list, which I have already. Those are easily the two worst.
Yeah, that's
the two worst things they've ever done. I actually think they're irredeemable. They're irredeemable.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's where you hit rock bottom. Phase 4 gave us our first 2 Fs.
Rock bottom.
But we'll do our full ranking here soon. Obviously next week we got our good old
Avatar.
friend James Cameron coming back to theaters for the first time.
You gotta dedicate all that to that. It's fine.
We're gonna we're
more
gonna
than
have
enough to
lots
talk.
to talk about with that, and then I think we might do a Christmas episode. Maybe, maybe not. If we can bank it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We
Yeah,
should. Why
why not?
not?
I
That'd be
want to share
interesting.
my favorite Christmas movie of all time because
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be what you think it's gonna be.
When you say that though, you mean the movie that you like to watch during Christmas, or it's a Christmas movie?
I guess both.
It's both. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because some people like watching a weird movie
Yeah,
on
like
Christmas. It's just like their favorite Christmas movie.
if anybody wants to come on and argue why Die Hard is a Christmas movie, come
I'm
on
so
because
oh god,
I
so
know
done with the argument.
it's
So
not,
done. Yeah, it's not. People need to stop.
it's
I
not.
hate it.
It's fuck outta here. It's
Yeah.
not. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, listening, and subscribing, and all that stuff. We're slowly growing. We're showing signs of growth, which it only took us a year,
Yeah.
but like, hey, I guess that's normal, is what
Wait, are
I've
we
read.
coming up on a year? Oh shit,
We're
you're
coming up
right,
on
bro.
yeah, we're gonna talk about, dude. Our
I mean, we
first
have.
episode was talking about great things coming out in 2022, and we're about to get ready to talk about what we're
Yeah.
excited about and worried about for 2023.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my god, we should have a happy 1 year. I forget exactly when the first time we recorded something
Happy one
was.
year.
But
Yes.
it's been happy 1 year, my friend. Yeah,
Yeah.
what? Oh my god, has it really been the whole
Yeah.
year?
I think this time last year we were practicing.
I think we deserve a little pat on the back for that. To have made it through a whole year of almost every Sunday or Saturday
Hey,
of
almost every
recording.
Saturday, we have to come like, hey, like we have TikToks at 5,000, we have TikToks at like 40,000 almost.
Almost 40. One of them is hitting almost 40.
Yeah, come on, like guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We
Yes,
appreciate
thank you.
thanks for liking and arguing with us and calling us stupid. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I don't give a
Yes.
fuck what you guys call me. I got
Yeah.
thick skin. So
Yeah, me too. We don't care.
anyway, thank you so much, guys. We'll be back next week with Avatar: The Way of Water.
Avatar.
But that's MCU Phase 4 ranking. That's Ed. I'm Alex. Pizza time.
It's time.